Alright guys, this is just a quick comparison and wrap up for the Xterra 705 series, since I am selling my last one pretty soon. But I wanted to give a little wrap up and comparison for people that are on the fence about buying, you know, an Xterra 705 or upgrading to the 800 and the Equinox 800. In short, here's my experience with both of them. Starting with the Xterra series, I've owned this machine for over 10 years now, and as you can see, it's held up. The only thing that ever broke on it was the nylon screw, and Minelab sent me new ones, and then I broke it again, and basically just go to Home Depot and they sell those. But you know, it's held up. It's a little scratched, but you know, considering the amount of detecting this thing has done, I'm very impressed with how well it's held up. It's very light. It doesn't weigh a lot. It's very well balanced. I don't have any problem swinging this thing all day, 8, 9, 10 hours, and I've had some long hunts in this thing and didn't hurt my arm at all. Very good machine in that respect. But down to the detecting, this Xterra has found probably about 10,000 coins, somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 worth of silver over the years. Rings, coins, you name it, it's found lots and lots of silver. Found quite a few gold rings at the beach. At the beach, it's really easy to use. You're basically in this mode, you just hold down until you get the little umbrella, and then you're ready to go. And basically what I have found is that the machine is basically the easiest thing that you're going to use at the beach. I mean, it's, if you don't want to tune the machine and tweak on it to make it find stuff, then this is the perfect machine for you. The downside is it is not waterproof up here. The coil is waterproof all the way up to here. You can get it wet, can't get the control box wet. So at the beach, I was always basically hunting dry sand or low tide, being very careful for waves and such, and that was fine, and it worked out. I was able to have a lot of fun at the beach with it. But the problem was then, though, is every time wet water came and you know, you were digging in the waves to get to a target, you had to worry about dropping this thing in the water and basically ruining your machine. So that was the downside. But as far as like gold mines and things like that, it was excellent. I mean, we out here in California, we don't have like a lot of you know, farm fields to hunt and such. It's more old west gold mines and ghost towns. This machine was good because of the discrimination pattern. Was really easy to set. You can basically plus or minus out real fast and block out all the trash, and it would just pick up high tones or mid tones, and then you were good to go. At the parks, I would just run open discrimination and just dig everything, and it was safe. How it compares equally to the Equinox, so in ways that it's the same, I would say the way it feels when you're holding it, I think it's pretty good. They're about the same to me. The Equinox being slightly better balanced, maybe. As you can see, the grips up here are the exact same. There's no difference at all. They're using the same piece. So you can even get interchangeable parts if you wanted to go that route. The way it goes together is exactly the same. They have the exact same pieces there. I'm sure they just did that to save money. And maybe also because, you know, why mess with it? It works. Just keep it. So other than that, I mean, then the coils obviously have some differences in size. There, you know, there you can see that. But where the rubber meets the road is this. The Equinox 800 is waterproof top to bottom. No worries on that. 100% waterproof, not 100% waterproof. Bigger coils, but where the rubber meets the road for me is sensitivity. For me, there's no comparison in how much better the Equinox is on targets than what you're gonna see here. So it is beyond sensitive. So you can see. Now, people have complained about the stability in targets with the Equinox 800. I would say I agree with that. It does have like a shakiness in when you're picking up a target. As you can see here, you'll hear it. It bounces a little bit. Pretty stable there. Where's that ring at? So as you can see, the ring showing up pretty good. I got a few targets down here to practice with. So basically, my experience though is with rings and things like that, the Equinox is much better. I mean, you can see the stability is amazing. Compared to a, like a Xterra series, even the 70 series, I would say, on the big coins, I don't think there's a difference. I think you're going to find a big coin, whatever machine you want, to use. I think you're going to find it okay. But the difference being, I think, with this machine over the Xterra comes down to rings and oddities, things that are like a little bit different shaped or don't have such a high tone. Like this ring that I have in the ground here, let's show you what I mean by that here. See how stable that is? Right on 8. I mean, look at that. Look how. All right. So then let me show you how the Xterra does on that same item. You'll see how it's nowhere near as stable. Where did I put that thing? I forget where I put it. Let's see. Oh, here. So here's the ring. Look at that. Look how it doesn't even want to pick it up perfectly. But see, going through a park, you're not getting anything, and then you come over it. You see what I mean? But in all metal, that's what you get. But when I run a discrimination pattern, see how it wants to reject. Now if I open it up, see, it's a little better, but it's showing up as a negative and a positive and negative. See what I mean? And the stability is just night and day. In all metal, it's a champion. I mean, you wouldn't pass it up. 2.6, 2.6. Even if it's hitting a little negative there, we'll go the other way. 2.6, a little better tone that way. But you see the jumpiness versus the 800. Watch the 800 here on the same target. Look at that. So as you see, the Xterra series isn't not gonna get you what you're finding. I mean, I'll cover depth after, but it's not that the Xterra won't find the rings or find these targets, but when you've been digging all day, this is where the rubber meets the road, is when you've been digging all day and you're 3 hours into a hunt, you're a little less patient about what you decide to dig and not. And when you're looking, in a park and you've been digging all day, it just seems to me that you could miss something like that. A 14 karat gold ring, you can miss it because the Xterra is jumpy and you might walk right over that and think, oh, it's a piece of trash or whatever, and it's not. But see, with the Equinox, it's real stable, it's a low tone, and you would definitely dig that target. That's where I think it is. Now, this is another thing, is depth. The Xterra, I've had some targets at the beach that were about 2.5 feet down with this machine, which is, they were bigger targets, but I found some pretty neat stuff. I found a Tiffany charm that was like the size of a BB. It was really small, and there's a little Tiffany charm, and that was about a foot down with this, you know, machine. But this machine in those conditions just shines. At the beach, it just kills it at depth. And I've had some light experience with it out in the farmsteads and stuff. I haven't done too much detecting out there yet, but our season, you know, is just coming in. This machine was bought in the late spring last year, and I've been real busy over the summer, and it's just too hot to be out here. It's like 110 plus, so not the best detecting. But now that the winter is here, and you know, as you can see, we got some fall leaves falling and all that, definitely time to get out. But just my experience, the depth differences on these is night and day. So overall, I mean, was the Xterra a good buy? Oh yes. I mean, this machine's probably found in total, I don't know, $6,000 worth of stuff for me. And I'm not even an avid detectorist, you know, like I've been out and I went through spurts where I was buying, you know, like going out more and more, and you know, I wasn't that active, but there was times where I went out and detected twice a week. But as a whole, I'm not out there like daily like a lot of guys, you know, that do this a lot. They're retired and they get out a lot. So for the casual detectorist, I'd say this is the way to go. Save the money, pick up the, you know, spend the $400 and get one of these new, and hit the parks. If you're gonna get serious about it, you want something long term that you don't have to worry about rain, or you don't have to worry about the beach, and you want to just like go for it, but you don't want to spend all the money, then get the 600 version of this and spend $600, just a couple $100 more than one of these, and the technology is there. So lastly, there's the technology. As you know, this has basically, and you know, without complicating it for people that don't know, if you're just a newbie in the metal detecting world and you're looking, you wouldn't really know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to keep this simple, but this machine, the Equinox, has new technology that basically surrounds the coins, surrounds the rings from all angles at once, and it's using multiple frequencies at once, where this machine is using one frequency all the time. It's just using whatever coil you have on there, that's the frequency it's using. Well, this machine is using multiple frequencies, so it's like having many coils all at once, and this one does not be able to do that. So technologically speaking, waterproofing, depth, speed, everything is better on the Equinox, there's no doubt. But where it comes down to it is, how serious are you about detecting, and how much money do you want to spend? If you're not that serious, you don't want to spend a lot, just get a 705 and you'll be very happy with it. If you think you're going to grow in the hobby and you want to really get into it, and you're going to try different places, and you're really looking to just kind of get an edge and make detecting a little better and a little easier, get the 800 or the 600. Usability to me was the same. It was a little bit different learning curve with this, coming from this, because this is like Nintendo and this was more like brand new, you know, systems, game systems, you know. I mean, very simple, very just straight up. I mean, there's nothing complicated. You know, you got your menu, you can flip through, and all the adjustments, plus or minus, to change it, and that was it. I mean, here's your pinpoint. I mean, it was pretty straightforward. They did similar on this, you know, similar, you know, buttons and meanings of what the buttons do. They really did. When I bought this and started using the 800, I immediately thought, this is just an upgraded Xterra. This is what the Xterra should have been from the start. They should have made the Xterra waterproof. They should have made it, but I think that they didn't want it to compete with the CTX. Why would anybody spend $3,000 on a CTX when you have an Xterra that's going to basically do all that? I think when you buy a CTX, you're buying customization and waterproofing, and that's it. Other than that, I've detected head-to-head with people with CTXs with this and found the same stuff. So I think the advantage heavily here is customizing and waterproofing. So that's where it's at. Would I buy the 705 today over the 800? No, because I've learned what, you know, what you kind of need in the field. You just need that extra edge out there, especially in trashy areas and spots where targets are a little deeper. Because I found that at some of the parks, like at least where I live, they brought in topsoil and buried 150, 200-year-old targets with new dirt. So you got 1.5 feet before you even get to the new stuff, where this might struggle to get to those targets and this will not. So very good machines, both of them very similar. As I said, I feel like this is just an upgraded version of what this was, but this is just blowing away what this is now. So if you're, basically, like I said, just comes down to how serious you are. If you're very serious, get the 800 or the 600. If you're not that serious, you just want to detect a little bit here and there on a vacation, pick up a 705. Just remember, not waterproof and all that. So other than that, both of them are great machines. I wouldn't feel bad about buying either one of them. I would recommend both of them. I would just say depends on your budget and what you plan on doing with it. But as a whole, there's no comparison of performance. The 800 blows away the 705 in just about every condition. It's amazing. So definitely, if you're on the fence and you don't mind spending the money, just pick up the 600 or the 800. So that's it, guys. Let's just show you real quick what the difference in some targets look like on both machines, and then we'll shut it down. So here's a $50. That's a Walking Liberty. Here's a clad coin. So there's the 42 that I was telling you about. Normally underground it's pretty stable at 42. 42, and then here's your penny. And then here's your ring. See, look at that. See how it struggles? But that's, I mean, that's not common. If you do it, like I said, do all metal in a park is what you would do. You see how it's every time. So that's no discrimination, just wide open. See, 2, 4, 6, 8 right there. So it'll get it, but here's the difference. Now watch this. This will show you. This is just with a, I don't even know what mode I'm in on this. This is in a Park 1, I think, yeah. So look at that ring. See, no jumpiness, no uncertainty, straight up. And then the $50. Quarter. And then penny. Quarter. And then if I do it in all fairness, I run in all metal. Watch this. So same. So that's why I like, there's that ring. And then again in all metal. So as you can see, guys, there's just no comparison in them. I mean, they're different machines, you know. There are similarities in, you know, the actual build, the way they hold. Some of the buttons are similar, but technologically, Equinox blows it away. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I know it ran a little long, but this machine's going away in a few more days. I've already sold one of them, and this one's going to be gone. So I've enjoyed it. It's found a lot of fun stuff, but I think it's time to pass it on and just basically use the 800. There's no point in busting out the 705 anymore. So it's been a hoot. If you have any questions about either one, like I said, just post up. As always, just post up below and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, guys. We'll see you out on the next one.